Hey kids, welcome! I'm Belle, this is my classroom. Welcome to another super fun and colorful video. Today I'm gonna be talking to you guys about something that I actually want to talk about like for a long time on this channel, which is first day procedures. Yes, I know that I have 2 videos on first day activities, so if you want to check them out, please do it. I receive a lot of questions from those videos, and I've been receiving a lot of questions about procedures, like actual procedures, like routines, showing the school, how to introduce the language. So all of those things are really important, especially for young learners. If you are an ESL teacher, this video is gonna be, I believe, like the most helpful video I've ever made. But if you are not an ESL teacher, please stick around, because children are children. So I guess the first day procedures are going to make kids comfortable, and you're going to be able to introduce the rules and everything that's important for the first day. But before I go right into the video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I put a new video every single Friday. I put a lot of effort into my videos, and actually I work as an ESL teacher where I live. I teach English as a second language. That's what ESL is. But I teach every single day of the week, so what I tell you guys are actually things that I use every single day, 24/7. So my tips, they are like real life tips. So without further ado, let's go right into the video. The first thing that I want to talk about is how to welcome students. So on the very first day of school, whether they're like kindergartners, preschoolers, I always want to make them feel comfortable. So on the first day of class, I don't mind if the parent wants to come in to watch the lesson. I feel like that's actually pretty helpful, especially if the child is insecure and stuff. I feel like that helps a lot. And I actually ask the parents to participate in the classes. Like I ask the parents questions too, and ask them to repeat too. So I feel like that's make the lesson like fun and exciting and a little bit different. I try to incorporate like activities where children can talk to their parents like at home and stuff, and I feel like it's really important to create that bond between like the school and the family. I feel like it's crucial. So I start by doing that on the first day. So if they want to come in on the first day, I allow them to, but it depends on the school actually, because I know that some schools have like a no parents policy depending on the age. So that's something that depends on the school. But if the school allows, I do that. So I feel like that makes the students feel more comfortable, and the parents too, because it's the first day of school for their kids, and they are a bit confused about what's gonna happen. It's good for the parents to trust you. So if that happens, the parents are going to trust you, and you're going to create start to create a bond. So that's my first tip. My second tip, I'm going to rush because I have so many tips. My second tip is about the line. So on the very first day, I ask my students to make a line at the door. So I ask them to make a line, and I have some cards and stuff, some cards by the door, and I ask, how do you want to say hello? And high five and hug. So I show them the pictures, because the first day, especially if you are an ESL teacher, you relate to that. So you have to show a lot of pictures, because they don't understand the language. That's the second language. But I always use English in my classes. English is the mean of communication. So I show them the pictures and I say, hello, what's your name? My name is Isabel. How do you want to say hello? Do you want a hug? Do you want a high five? Do you want a handshake? And so they tell me if they are like too shy, then I speak in our mother tongue, and so just for them to feel more comfortable. On the first day, I feel like you can mix and match the languages if you are an ESL teacher. If you're not, you won't have the problem. So I feel like it's okay to speak a little bit of your mother tongue just for the kids to feel more comfortable, and because it's their first day is studying a second language, or it's the first day in preschool, or it's the first day in kindergarten. So it's important for them to feel welcomed and to feel like that's where they belong, So yeah, my second tip would be start making a line, because if you start doing these things on the first day, they're gonna be a lot easier throughout the school year. So my second tip is circle time. I mean, I guess you can probably tell that I'm focusing a lot on routines, because routines are crucial for young children. They're like so important. They save you a lot of time, and I guess like it's something that has to start on the first day. So I asked them to make a line with the parents, and I actually asked the parents to say hello to me. Like, how do you want to say hello? Hug, high five, handshake. The parents do that because they, have to get into the spirit. So, that's my second tip. My third tip is make a circle. So in the circle, so then I asked them to make a circle in the classroom, and the parents too, if the parents are, in the classroom. So I asked them to make a circle, and I have a little agenda on the board. And I say this agenda on the very, very first day, I say this agenda on our mother tongue. If you're not an ESL teacher, you can use the agenda in your, in the language that you already speak, because you're not teaching a second language. But you can use an agenda. I think that's a great way to give them a sense of achievement, because in the end of the class I go back to the agenda and I like tick the things that we did there, and that helps them, like when the parents ask what did you do today, and the kids have an answer because they remember the agenda. The agenda is just fantastic. Like they can actually visualize what they're learning, and I think that's so awesome. So yeah, my third tip is circle time. Because in the circle you can look at the agenda. The agenda, I don't know, I think I'm getting lost in those numbers. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, the agenda is important. My fourth or fifth tip, I don't know what number it is anymore. Anyways, my next tip would be in the circle, start to introduce some vocabulary that you're going to use. So I use a lot of realia, because with young children, they need to touch things, they need to see, to feel. It's so much more meaningful for them to use realia. So if you have the opportunity, use realia to introduce the vocabulary. So after I do that, I have like a little routine every single day, and I start to introduce this routine since like the first day. So I ask them, how are you today? And they say, and then I teach them happy, sad, tired, and hungry, and they tell me. And they have to ask each other, in like a whole group thing. They have to ask each other, how are you feeling today? How are you today? Are you happy? They have to ask that. And then I have news moments where they can tell like a great thing that happened to them, like the day before or the night before, or that morning. Just something that they want to share. It's a sharing moment, again, to create a bond. And also, that's really important, because if the child is having like behavior issues throughout the class, you say, this is not a news moment, this is a class moment. So let's focus now. If it's a focus moment, of course. So if the child is misbehaving, you have that little thing to pull out of your sleeve, I guess. Well, so after I do that, after I teach them some vocabulary and some like school material vocabulary and stuff, and I go and show them around the school. So I ask them to make a line, again, stand up, make a line, and I take them around the school, show them the library, the kitchen, the patio, you know, all the areas around the school. I show them around the school, and after I do that, I go back to the school. After that part, usually I tell the parents not to go back to the classroom. Like the children want to go back alone because they feel a lot more comfortable. So that's what I do, like in the middle of the class basically, because teaching vocabulary takes a while, and you know, this how are you today thing takes a while too. News moment, teaching them like how it works, so that takes a while. So I know about like in the middle of the class, I tell them to, I ask them to make a line and show them the school. So after I do that, that's when I talk to them about rules. When I talk about rules, I'm usually a little bit more serious because it's, you know, it's rules and it has to be a little bit more serious, and it's a very abstract concept for them because they're too young. So I usually I show them pictures on the board of like good behavior and bad behavior, and then I make a poster. In this poster, I make a happy face and a sad face, and then I ask them to draw what's good behavior and what's bad behavior. So they draw, you know, they can look at the board because I put some pictures on the board. In my school I use an interactive whiteboard, where if you don't use one, you can just, you know, stick some pictures with tape on the walls or on the board, and I just ask them to draw. And in the end, like at the bottom of the poster, I ask them to sign their names. So if they have like a behavior issues in the future, I just point to the poster and say, look, is that okay? Is that behavior okay? And just teach them how to, you know, behave in a group, because they're just starting to learn. So of course I don't put like crazy things. I just put like you can't hit your friends, you can't scream, you can't like do these crazy things, like no violence, because it's really abstract for them. So that's why I show pictures. Pictures are like crucial. You are going to find yourself with like a pile of flashcards by the end of the week. That's what I do, and I ask them to make a poster, and in the end we play a game. Usually it's like a hot potato, where I tell them to tell me some rules, like tell me good behavior, a bad behavior, or mime this, mime that, and it's just a miming game. So I just play some games, have a little fun, and they go home really happy and excited about the first day. That's how I usually have my first day with young learners and very young learners. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. And these procedures work because I do them like every single semester with tons of groups, because I don't teach like one group per semester or per year. I teach like 10. So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, tell me in the comments below what your classroom first day procedures are, because I really want to hear that. So tell me in the comments below, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I see you next week for a brand new video. Bye!